You see how when Speed was streaming in other countries, they was calling him out of his name? They was being racist. He's not going through any of that in Africa. In Africa, it looked like Speed is living his best life. You could feel every bit of the love in his streams. This young man met the president of Angola. He's taking time with these people. He's racing people. He raced the African flag. You see how the African people was showing Speed love? Why wasn't Speed getting that love anywhere else? And not saying that he wasn't getting love fully, but he's not getting no hate in Africa. Why is that? Y'all remember the streams? People clipped those streams up. When Speed was in Europe, nasty work. Speed is in Africa and people are treating him like a human being. That says a lot. And you would think the way these people paint pictures about Africa, about people in Africa, that they wouldn't be treating Speed how they're treating Speed. But as we can see, Speed is being treated like a natural human being. And he is around very civilized people in Africa.
US citizens are now deciding to move to Africa because of Speed's new stream. So as you know, when Speed went to China, he basically exposed that American propaganda has made China seem that it's just like some communist, like you can't even survive. But in actuality, it was the most beautiful cities people have ever seen. US citizens were like, wait, what the heck? Y'all's taxes are low. Everything you buy is like extremely cheap. It's affordable. Families are healthy. Everything is perfect. They're like, wait a second, we're literally being propagated in the US. Now Speed is going to Africa and people are saying he's going to do the same thing. What do y'all think? Wallahi, he will undo years of propaganda that Africa is a bad place to be. And yeah, in my current American brain, when I think of Africa, I think of no water, huts, sand. Like, dude, it's actually funny. I don't know, like, it's just all the propaganda from just being in America. What do y'all think about this? This is getting millions of views. Do you think this is actually gonna happen the same way it did with this China stream?
Hi, bro. Seeing the ISHOWSPEED Africa tour, that shit is making me want to go to Africa, bro. When Speed was in Europe, they was calling him monkey. They was throwing him bananas and shit. They was saying all type of racist shit when he was in the Europe tour. He pop up in Africa and then people showing him love like he's family already, bro. The propaganda is failing. It is crumbling before our very eyes. And then they want to call Africa uncivilized, bitch. I'm seeing the...
An African celebrity treated that way by Black Americans here in America. That's how we treat people in Africa. ISHOWSPEED is getting nothing but love. Nobody's calling him any name. Nobody's saying anything about him. He's just having a good time. He's enjoying himself because he's home. ISHOWSPEED is single-handedly destroying centuries of negative.
Hello, what's good my people? Welcome once again to our YouTube channel. My name is Mr. J and this is Mr. J Diaspora. Do you know why? Do you know why, guys, I'm happy today? Do you know why? Because ISHOWSPEED is in Africa, man. ISHOWSPEED is in Africa. And you know what else is that is making me happy? Is that it is showing what so many people have not seen. So many people outside there, they always believe that Africa are the poorest people. So many people outside there believe that Africa still don't have even running water. They don't even have gas. But now ISHOWSPEED is showing that Africa is rich. And another thing is that the ISHOWSPEED is being shown love in Africa. Not like the way when he went to Europe, it was different. When we went to other continents, most of the time he's shown racist each and every time. But when the moment he stepped in Africa, he has been shown nothing but love. But love, man. That is making me so happy. And people are being shocked. The people from America are being shocked of how Africa is developed. They're asking themselves, I'm shocked up to this century, people still believe that we go to take water in the rivers. No, we have waters at our place where we stay, just like America. There's no different. When someone goes to America and says that Africa is poor, that person is wrong. ISHOWSPEED is proving those people wrong. ISHOWSPEED is making us Africa proud. And we love ISHOWSPEED. I'm actually in Kenya and we're waiting him to come. I'm waiting for him to come here in Kenya. Wonderful, Mazi. Let's listen to some of the other people speaking about ISHOWSPEED, then we'll come back to talk more.
Y'all probably wondering why I'm crying. I've been watching Speed streams, and I'm seeing all the love that he's getting in Angola. He's in South Africa, and he's getting massive amount of love. And the way that he was treated in Europe was disgusting. But to see him be a black man from the United States of African descent and be able to go back to the continent and be treated like a human by civilized African people, when we've been taught that Africa is primitive, that it's dangerous, don't go back, they have this, they have that, they don't want you, they don't like you. And to see an African American man with his stature go back to the motherland and be treated with so much respect. This is what our people fought for. This is what they fought for when they fought against Jim Crow and segregation. This is what the slave revolts were about. This is what it's always been about. Is to be able to go back home to a home that you've never been and be unapologetically black and not have to think about being black. Just being able to have your natural hair and your brown skin and not be judged and not be racially profiled and not be killed. I love the love that he is getting. And I love the love that all of my African American people are getting in the continent. And I know there's a lot of issues. I know there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. But I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And I love that for him, and I love that for all of my people that are over there. And I can't wait.
Speed touring Africa could break a lot of bad stereotypes people have about the continent, and it could help build a real understanding and give Pan-Africanism a real chance to grow. Africa is a very beautiful continent. It is also where humanity started, and many people try to blame Africa's problems on the people, but that's not true at all, because a lot of the damage comes from poor governance and the long effects of colonialism, which has drained the continent for centuries. And you see today, under global capitalism, the exploitation continues. You see these big companies still profit from Africa's minerals, oil, and labor, but they invest very little back into the communities doing all the work. Africa is very rich in resources, but the tragedy is that those riches have been mostly used to make everyone else rich. You see that these Western corporations, Chinese investors, and even some local elites take the profit, while everyday people see very little of it. And that's why Speed's Africa trip matters. If it's done with real curiosity and respect, it could be huge for Pan-Africanism. He has a massive Gen Z audience, millions of young people who have only seen Africa through stereotypes or Western media. Seeing him meet local people, explore cities, and try different food and connect with a different culture shows a different reality. It helps people see how diverse, modern, and alive Africa really is. And that kind of visibility breaks the colonial lens many people still use to look at the continent today. A trip like this also exposes the xenophobia that some FBA circles push against Africans and other Black people in other nations as well. Because once people see how intelligent, thoughtful, and politically aware people across Africa are, and how many of them actually feel connected to Black Americans, all of that we're alone as Black Americans talk falls apart. It shows that Blackness is not just one experience, it's global, it's connected, and it's stronger when united. And a lot of the anti-African and anti-immigrant talk in some FBA spaces comes from misinformation and westernized.
The only country, that view is insane. Look at that South African view, bro. That shit is dead ass beautiful, bro. Imagine living here.
You guys can see ISHOWSPEED reaction of seeing the beauty of the continent of Africa. Right now, I think he's in South Africa, maybe Johannesburg, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday, he was in Angola. Tomorrow, probably gonna go to Botswana, another country. So probably gonna spend like a day and a half in each country. And I can't wait when he goes to Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, Egypt, Kenya, Uganda, all this beautiful country, Rwanda. I don't want to forget that you're probably gonna go to 24 countries to show you what each country in Africa has, and you guys can be shocked what is the each country has the beauty, infrastructure, and all these buildings and all these things. I can't wait when you guys to show Western world that what is Africa has to offer. You know, as soon as you tell someone you're from Africa, they think, oh, you guys don't have cars, you guys don't have houses. Where do you guys live? Do you guys live with a lion? Have you seen a lion before? Like, they ask you stupid ass question. But I'm so happy I should speak right now touring Africa to let people see what is Africa is about. Enjoy your tours. I should speak in Africa and show the world what is Africa is about.
Speed needs to be careful. I don't usually like blacks, but Speed is one of the good ones, and I don't need those ghetto people over there tainting him, and God forbid they rob him and induct him into their gang. Speed, if you're listening, do not go to Africa anymore! Wait, which one of these tribal people is ISHOWSPEED? I really can't tell. These Africans just look so similar. They're all jumping around and dancing like animals. I can't tell who is who. What do you mean they speak English and have running water? I thought speaking more than one language was for rich white people, not poors that drink mud. I thought Africa was a country. Why do they keep speaking different languages? I don't like it. Why are there cities and houses on the stream? Are you sure they just didn't secretly stream in Japan because they're supposed to live in mud huts with no technology? Guys, I'm really scared for Speed. What is he gonna eat while he's in Africa? You know they don't have food.
Guys, for very long, Africa has been taken as a continent for the poor, has been taken for Africa, a continent for the oppressed and all that. But ISHOWSPEED has come and proven that Africa is even more developed. People have money, people do have vehicles, there's development. You see, most of the time when the people from outside come here in Africa, most of the time they come and take photos from those bad places, from the slums, from the up countries where people don't even where people are still poor. Then they take photos and take them outside there. Then that is what they show the world. Now Africa has always been taken as a country that doesn't even have development. But that's different. Now ISHOWSPEED can't do that. ISHOWSPEED is just a streamer. He shows what is there. And people are shocked. Let me tell you guys one thing that people don't know. Africa is so much developed. South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, those countries are very, very developed. And even more, every countries in Africa are developed. Even so many Africans, so many black Americans now feel the urge to come to Africa. They want to come and feel the same way ISHOWSPEED is feeling right now. Because it's a good feeling, knowing that you are home, where people love you, people care for you. They are being shown, ISHOWSPEED is being showed more than love. That is how we are trained to live. Where we don't care whether you are black or white, we always have love. And now ISHOWSPEED is black like us. We have to show him love. This is his home. Africa is always home. That's why we call it Mama Africa. Mother Africa. Africa is always home. Guys, tell me what you think about this story down there in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and also don't forget to share this video. See you in the next video.